They trained him to follow orders without hesitation. From his first day of boot camp, Michael Reyes learned that obedience meant survival. Questioning commands cost time, and time cost lives. So he learned to move when told, shoot when ordered, and trust that those above him saw the bigger picture. He was good at it, exceptionally good. Calm under pressure. Disciplined. Reliable. The kind of soldier you could send into chaos and expect results. Michael didn't argue. He didn't complain. He just did his job, and he believed deeply that it mattered. The deployment was supposed to be routine. A volatile region, yes, but nothing his unit hadn't handled before. Patrols, checkpoints, intelligence gathering. The kind of mission that slowly wears you down rather than breaking you all at once. Michael wrote home every Sunday. Short letters, no details. Just enough to reassure his parents he was safe, proud to serve, and would be home soon. "I'm doing what I'm supposed to," he wrote once. "That's enough for me." The night everything changed began like any other. An order came down just before midnight. Secure a compound on the outskirts of a small village. Intelligence suggested insurgent activity, possibly weapons stored inside. The objective was clear and time-sensitive. No room for delay. Michael was squad leader that night. He repeated the orders exactly as given. Move fast, maintain control. No deviation unless absolutely necessary. As they approached the compound, the air felt wrong. Too quiet. Dogs barked in the distance, then stopped suddenly. Michael felt a flicker of doubt, a small human instinct, telling him something didn't add up. He pushed it aside. Orders were orders. They breached the gate quickly. Shouted commands in a language many inside didn't fully understand. Panic erupted. Shadows moved. Someone ran. A shot rang out. Training took over. Everything happened in seconds. Michael followed protocol exactly as he'd been taught. When the dust settled, the truth emerged slowly and painfully. The intelligence had been wrong. The compound wasn't an insurgent hideout. It was a family home. The weapons were farming tools. The man who ran had been trying to protect his children. No one died that night, but lives were shattered. The report was filed. The mission was labeled unfortunate but justified under operational guidelines. Higher command moved on. But Michael couldn't. Back at base, his hands shook when he tried to eat. Sleep came in fragments, interrupted by the sound of that single shot replaying again and again in his mind. He followed every rule, every order, and still caused irreversible harm. He tried to talk to his commanding officer. "You did what you were told," the officer said. "That's what soldiers do." The words were meant to comfort him. They didn't. When Michael returned home months later, he was praised. Thanked. His hands were shaken by people who had no idea what obedience had cost him. He tried to return to normal life. A job. A routine. Smiles that didn't reach his eyes. But the weight followed him everywhere. He avoided mirrors. He avoided conversations about the war. Most of all, he avoided the question that haunted him late at night. If I knew then what I know now, would I have done anything differently? The military discharged him honorably. On paper, his record was spotless. Medals, commendations, proof that he had served well. But inside he felt hollow. The world expected him to be proud, to move on, but the past didn't treat him the same way. He began volunteering at a local veterans center, hoping being around others who understood might help. He listened to stories that echoed his own different missions, but the same unspoken guilt. One older veteran said something that stuck with him. "They train you to follow orders," the man said quietly. "But they don't train you how to live with them." Michael started speaking at small gatherings. Not about tactics or bravery, but about responsibility, about the cost of blind obedience, about the importance of asking questions, even when it's uncomfortable. Some people didn't like what he said, others listened. But the damage inside him didn't disappear. Years of carrying the weight alone had carved deep grooves into his mind. The guilt didn't fade, it settled in. One winter morning, Michael didn't show up to the Veterans Center. By the time someone checked on him, it was too late. The headlines were brief, respectful. Another veteran lost after returning home. Another reminder that the war doesn't always end when the uniform comes off. At his funeral, his parents stood beside the flag-draped casket. The folded flag was placed gently into his mother's hands. She clutched it like it might explain everything. Michael Reyes followed every order he was given. He served with discipline, with loyalty, with honor. And the ultimate price he paid wasn't on the battlefield. It was the silent cost of carrying out commands without ever being taught how to forgive himself for doing exactly what he was told. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that help is available and you are not alone. Resources are linked in the description below. Thank you for listening.